Hare Krishna, welcome to the fourth chapter of Srila Sri Guru and His Grace. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Divya Jnana Pradaya Nishimate Paramaveti Swami Srila Sharanagata Bhakti Vyoshra Bhakti Vidayani Vishla Bhakti Siddhanta Radharani Shivine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama
Hare
Hare Rama
Rama Rama Rama Rama Hare.
Chapter 4, the original Guru. The original spiritual master is Sri Nityananda Prabhu. He is the general representation of Guru. In the spiritual world, he is the Tattva principle and the four primary mellows of divinity, including the conjugal mellow. The Madhurya Rasa, Baladeva's representation is Ananga Manjari, the sister of Radharani. The position of Nityananda is greater than that of Baladeva. Why? He is distributing prema, divine love. And what is prema? It is higher than all other achievements. If one can give divine love, then all others must be subordinate to him. If Krishna is subordinate to Mahaprabhu, then of course Balaram is subordinate to Nityananda. They are similar, but when magnanimity is added, Balaram becomes Nityananda. That Balaram who can distribute divine love, who can perform that higher function, has come here as Nityananda. Our foundation must be solid and proper. Then the structure should be erected. Otherwise, the whole thing will go down. Heno nita vine bai, Radha Krishna, Heno nitai vine bai, Radha Krishna Vaidinai. We can get a solid foundation from Nityananda Prabhu. One day, Nityananda Prabhu came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house in Mayapur. Mahaprabhu's mother, Sachi Devi, and Vishnu Priya Devi, his wife, were also there, as well as other devotees. Suddenly, Nityananda arrived quite naked. Mahaprabhu managed to give him some cloth, and perhaps he was concerned that the devotees might have some misconception about Nityananda Prabhu. So to prevent this, he asked Nityananda Prabhu for his kaupina, his loincloth. He tore it up and distributed it amongst the householders that were present, instructing them, keep a piece of his loincloth as a kavacha, an amulet, and tie that with a thread to your arm or wear it around your neck. Please keep it with you, then you will be able to achieve sense control very soon. Nityananda Prabhu has control of his senses to the extreme degree. He does not know anything of this world. He is vairagya, indifference to the world of mundane transaction. It's of such degree that he can appear naked amongst both female and male, so the grace of Nityananda Prabhu will construct a firm foundation for us. If there is a firm foundation, then we may build a great structure over it. If we have faith in Nityananda, then that faith can bear any amount of weight. It won't betray us. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has laid stress amongst the Westerners on devotion to Nityananda. First we must get his mercy, and then afterwards we can get the mercy of Radha Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means Radha Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Mahayanya. First achieve the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, and then Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and then Sri Radha Govinda. In these three stages, we must raise ourselves up. Devotee asks, how does one attain the mercy of the Lord? Nityananda. Srila Sridhara. One who finds more inclination to serve Gauranga and his Dham, his transcendental land, and his servants can get the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda is very much kind to one who has some special tendency towards Gaura Lila. Take the name of Gauranga. Nityananda Prabhu walked from door to door in Bengal, saying, "Take the name of Gauranga. I'll become your servant. You can purchase me if you only take the name of Gauranga. I'll be sold to you without any price or condition." That was his temperament. When Mahaprabhu was in Puri, he sent Nityananda Prabhu to Bengal. At that time, he said, "Without you, I don't find anyone who can spread the holy name of Krishna or devotional service to Krishna in Bengal. They are more engaged in the tantric method and the smriti. They make too much of these trifling things. They are puffed up, thinking that they have finished all knowledge. So Bengal is a very hard field for preaching. Without you, no one will be able to awaken the masses. Separate yourself from the higher castes and approach the masses with the holy name of Krishna. You are the fittest person for this work." Nityananda Prabhu went to Bengal, but without trying to preach the glories of the holy name of Krishna, Nityananda began to preach the name of Gauranga. Nityananda Prabhu found that there is some danger of thinking that Krishna's pastimes are very much akin to the mundane debauchery, lying and stealing of a degraded soul. Krishna's pastimes are of a highly confidential nature. It is very difficult for the masses to understand the purity of Krishna Lila. The mass mind cannot accept Krishna Lila as the highest attainment. So Nityananda Prabhu found it would be difficult to preach Krishna Lila. But he found it would be easy to preach Gaura Lila, where Krishna has come to distribute himself to the public with so much capital in his mind. Gauranga means a dynamo which wants to distribute Krishna, surcharged with the most magnanimous, intensified pity and kindness for the ordinary people, with the greatest affection even for the criminals. Nityananda Prabhu wanted to bring them in connection with Gauranga, for then Krishna Lila would automatically be within their fist. So he began to preach about Gauranga, not Radha Krishna, as commanded by Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu says, "Bhaja Gauranga kaha Gauranga laha Gauranga nama." Worship Gauranga, speak only of Gauranga, and chant the names of Gauranga. There is another instance of the relationship between Krishna and Balaram and Gauranga and Nityananda, which is described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Sachi Devi had a dream that Krishna and Balaram were sitting on a throne and Nityananda was fighting with Balaram. "Come down from the throne. It's no longer Dvapara Yuga. The age of Kali has come and my master Gauranga must occupy your position on this throne. You come down." Balaram began giving some opposition. "No, no. Why should we come down? We have been sitting on this throne for such a long time." Nityananda Prabhu began forcibly taking him down, and Balaram submitted slightly. Nityananda Prabhu said, "My master Gauranga wants to take the position now. The age for him has come." So Nityananda is very partial to Gauranga. He says, "Krishna is far off. My Lord is Gauranga." So we must be very grateful to Nityananda Prabhu, for he is our Guru. And Guru's grace is so important that Raghunath Das Goswami says, "Oh Radharani, I want your grace. Without you, I don't want Krishna separately. I never want Krishna without you." That should be the healthy attitude of a devotee. This has been explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Guru Vashtakam. Yasya prasarat bhagavat prasaro, yasya prasaran nagati kutopi, dyamstu vamstasya yashastri sanjam, ande guru Sri Charanaravinda. I bow down to the lotus feet of Sri Guru Deva. By his grace, we achieve the grace of Krishna. Without his grace, we are lost. Therefore, we should always meditate on Sri Guru Deva and pray for his mercy. This is the position of Sri Guru, by whose grace we can get everything. We can get the grace of Krishna, and without whose grace we have no other prospect. So, in this way, we must have reverence for the who has given us our first connection with Krishna consciousness. Guru is not a doll. But at the same time, we offer reverence to Guru Deva. We must not conceive that the Guru is a doll, a lifeless figure. Because we are familiar with a particular figure and accept that as our Guru, we should not become misled. The important thing is what he says, his instructions. That is attracting our inner hearts. I am not this body. I am the inquirer. That thing which is satisfying me, drawing the inquirer to the inquired, I must try to locate that thing in him. I must not rely on material calculation. I am not this body. Who am I? The disciple? Am I only this body, this figure, this color, this case? Or am I this temperament, this scholarship and intellectualism? No. I am he who has come to seek. Who is the party within me, and who is the party in Guru? We must be fully awake to that. What is the inner thing? I have come for that. We must be awake to our own interest. There is the relative principle and the absolute principle. We shall have to eliminate the form, ignore the form. We shall always have to keep the spirit. Otherwise, we become form worshippers, idol worshippers. Yeah, Srila Maharaj says something very, very crucial here. We must be awake to our own interest. So we should always try to know what is our own interest. So, and well, our own interest principally is Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. So this is what we have to look. This is what we have to look for. So we have to be, as he says here, become. We should worship the principle, the absolute principle, and we should not care about the form. Guru can come in many forms, and if we just prefer one form over the other, we lose the chance to actually recognize Guru, because we only concentrate on the form, but not on that what really makes Guru, what really is Guru. So that should we look for. It's not very easy, but we should always try to remind ourselves: is that what I see in my Guru? Is that Guru, or is it just some outer form, some of my own conceptions? Guru, more than meets the eye. It is said, of course, that the connection with the spiritual master is eternal. Chakshudana dilo jay janme janme prabhu say. But we must not identify our Guru with the appearance we perceive with our physical senses. Our inner identification of him will be clarified according to the growth of our vision. When our vision increases and takes shape from material to transcendental, his look will also change accordingly. A man is sometimes known most externally by his uniform, and then by his body, then by his mind, then by his intelligence. As much as our eye will develop to see things rightly, what we are seeing will also change its face. Krishna says, Acharya mam vijanya. Ultimately, it is I who am the Acharya. It is the function of divinity, and in different stages there may be different forms. Different acharyas may work at the same time. Yeah, Srila Maharaj says it is the function of divinity. So Guru is the function of divinity. This is when divinity manifests himself through a person to others. And one who works as a Guru should never think that this, what he gives, is his own. It is always divinity. And divinity has chosen someone to make this work, then he may work. But as the Bhagavad Gita says, we should never think that the fruits of this work are ours. It is always the property of Krishna. So we are only here to serve. That we should never forget. The knowledge, the ideal, is growing from subtle to gross. And the depth of the vision of the eye will disclose the different figures of the different acharyas. It will go in different rasas to the highest position by a gradual process of realization. Otherwise, our knowledge will be based on the material conception. And to force the material conception onto divinity is a crime. It is ignorance. It is erroneous. We have to free ourselves from the snare of identifying reality with the physical form presented to our senses. The eyes deceive us. They cannot give us the proper form or color. The ears cannot give us the proper sound. The concrete reality is beyond the experience of our senses. So then what is that thing? Because we are in such a low position, we can gradually go there, to the inner world, only with the help of our Guru. But how can we recognize our Guru? Sometimes in the winter, he wears a particular dress, and in the summer, he wears another dress. If we attach so much importance to the external dress, then what should we do? Should we think that the dress is indispensable to the body? The Guru may come to us in a particular body. Suppose the Guru appears as a young man. When he has become an old man and the young form has grown into another form, how are we to recognize him? How are we to differentiate? Again, in one birth he may have come in a particular body, and another time he may appear in a different body. The same Guru may appear differently at different times. How are we to recognize him? From the external consideration we must go to the internal. I am devoid of flesh and blood, and I exist only in a subtle body. Then I shall also find my Guru there, in a subtle body. The demigods, Gandharvas and Siddhas, the perfect beings in the heavenly planets, also have their gurus. But they do not have a material body, nor does their guru have a material body. So, by eliminating the external conception, we have to enter into the internal, and that will be all important to a progressive disciple. That does not mean that one should disregard the physical form of our guru, but the real importance is within. We must worship the remnants of the Guru, his coat, his boot, his sandal, but that does not mean that this shoe is superior to his body. We must serve his person. In a similar way, if we are eager to do some physical service for him, if we want to massage his feet, but he does not desire that, then and says, no, then should we do that? Our internal obedience to him will be higher. In this way, we have to make progress from the gross to the subtle. Who is Guru? Where is he to be located? What is his idea? What does he really want me to do? These things must not be dismissed from our ears. We must not give only formal adherence. We want the spiritual way. The spiritual man is going to the spiritual world to have the spiritual realization. It is all a spiritual transaction. And all conceptions of mundane, whether physical, mental, or intellectual, should be eliminated in our journey if we want to go to the inner world of substance. Progress, elimination, and acceptance. This attitude will decide our real progress, our real design of life. Our fulfillment comes always from the inner side. If one can catch up that thread, then he can go and get things of that higher spiritual quality. We may appreciate the beautiful figure, style, movement, and intellectual delivery of the spiritual master, and so many other things may be appreciable. But what should be the highest focal point of our realization? What should be our highest aim for which we will eliminate everything else? Progress means elimination and acceptance. And our spiritual life must always be a dynamic thing, otherwise we shall be dead. Progress means acceptance and elimination. The scientists also say this in their theory of natural selection, survival of the fittest. Nature is selecting some and eliminating others. Life is dynamic. We are living in a dynamic world. Everywhere we find acceptance and elimination. That is progress, and our life must be progressive, not static. To get the grace of Nityananda Prabhu, we should try as far as possible to study the character of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, to serve him, to serve his Dham and his devotees. That will easily help us to attain the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. And there will always be so many practical dealings in our present stage, but we must always keep the highest ideal over our heads. With this ideal, we shall be able to make progress. Our ideal, our highest model, that is our all in life. To be acquainted with the conception of the highest ideal and to be on the path of realization of that goal is the greatest wealth in one's life. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami prays, I only aspire after one thing. I cherish the hope that one day I may be welcomed into the plain where Radhika and Madhava are in their glory, sitting and playing. That should be our prospect. This is found in Raghunath Dasa Goswami's prayer to the Guru. He says, I am fully indebted to Sri Gurudev. Why? He has given me so many things. He has given me the highest conception of the holy name of Krishna, the highest form of sound which contains the highest form of thought, aspiration, ideal, everything. And next he has given me the mantra. The name is there within the mantra. Without the name, the mantra is nothing. If the name of Krishna is withdrawn and replaced with another name, the mantra will give the opposite result. The name of Krishna is all in all. And within the mantra, the name is couched in a particular way as a sort of prayer. And then he says, he has given me the service of that great Savior, the son of Mother Sachi, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is like a golden mountain standing to show the direction of Krishna Lila. And Gurudeva has brought me to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu's most favorite personal assistant, Swarup Damodar, who is the representation of Lalita Devi, the most favorite friend of Radhika. Then he has brought me in connection with Sri Rupa, who was ordered to distribute the highest kind of devotional love, rasa. Vaidhi Bhakti, the worship of the Lord in awe and reverence, is of a lower order. But Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous love, the heart's innermost dealings, was distributed through Srila Rupa Goswami. Mahaprabhu considered Sri Rupa the best to deal with Raganuga Bhakti. Dasa Goswami says, then by his grace, I have achieved the association of Srila Sanatana Goswami, who adjusts our position in relation to Raganuga Bhakti. He explains the path of Vaidhi Bhakti and gives us Sambandha Gyan, the knowledge of what is what, a proper acquaintance with the environment. Then he says, Gurudeva has given me Mathura Mandala, where Radha and Govinda have their pastimes, where the forest, the hills, the creeper, the shrub, and grain of sand, everyone is bearing the acquaintance of Radha Krishna Leela. And wherever I shall cast my glance, they will help me in my remembrance of Radha and Govinda. I have received all these things from my Gurudeva, Vrindavan, where the cows and the milkmen have their village constructed. I am becoming acquainted with their association, their nature, and their feelings of love for Krishna. By the grace of Gurudeva, I have become acquainted with Radha Kunda, the favorite place of Radha and Govinda for their pastimes, and this great Govardhan. And lastly, he has given me the hope that one day I can get the service of Sri Radhika and Madhava. I have been given all these assurances by my Gurudeva, so I bow down my head with all my respects to his lotus feet. So if we are conscious of all these spiritual matters, then we can think that we have approached our Gurudeva properly. What is our Guru? What is his mission? It is filled with all these things. Devoid of that, what is our interest? What a glorification of Raghunath Das Goswami. Huh? Wow. He could see all this in his Gurudeva. He could see all this in the mercy stream of the Guru. Huh? What comes down to us. And this is the real vision of the absolute aspect of Gurudeva. This is the real vision. This is what we have to look for in Gurudeva. So we have to become conscious of all this, of all the mercy we receive by getting the connection to this. And this is so much more valuable than all other attainments. It's the highest attainment you can actually, which was ever conceived. No? And this all comes down without us deserving it. So we get something so incredible, so great, and so unimaginable from our standpoint. The only thing what we need is faith. Faith and association. And by this, we can develop our faith by the association. We can develop our practical connection. We can become active on the plane of the soul and connecting our true selves directly with Gurudeva, and through that with his highest goal. What is ISKCON? The devotee asks, whereas there are so many visions about this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, but what should the real vision of ISKCON be? Well, we can ask this also about Vrinda, because it's actually a general question. The general question is, what is a mission? And Srila Maharaj answers. In this verse, Raghunathas Goswami gives the real acquaintance of what is ISKCON. Nama Sresta Manum Api Sachiputram Atrasvarupam. ISKCON must not deviate from this line. We have not come here to deceive ourselves, but to fulfill ourselves. ISKCON will fulfill everyone's inner demand, even extending to the vegetables and stones, taking them to the feet of Mahaprabhu and the Goswamis. From the village to village, everyone in every place should be hunted and approached. Take the name of Krishna. Come under the flag of Mahaprabhu. This grand worldwide mission will thrive like anything. It will touch the heavens and cover the earth, and other planets also. That was the aim of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and we understand and appreciate that. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yeah, a very nice ending of chapter 4 of Sri Guru and His Grace, with such a broad vision about the actual mission of Srila Prabhupada on his appearance day today. So, yeah, the devotee here in the beginning of the 80s is asking Srila much about ISKCON, but actually we can also say the same about Vrinda, no? Because Vrinda is one expansion of the mission of Srila Prabhupada. It is Srila Prabhupada's mission, no? And this is actually what it's all about. What do you say?
This part from ISKCON is not standing in the German version. No.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
It is mentioned. So, yeah, I mean, we have to understand it correctly, no? It's not the institution what is meant, but it's actually meant the mission of Srila Prabhupada. That was Srila Prabhupada initiated. It's not meant that the institution which was subscribed in the United States of America in 1966 is meant by it. But it's the whole mission of Srila Prabhupada. All his disciples who continue the mission of Srila Prabhupada are included in that question. So, the idea of Srila Prabhupada, what did he do? He spread the message of Sri Chaitanya, and Sri Chaitanya's desire is, or was, that in every town and village the holy name will be done. That is it. No? And Srila Maharaj explains this desire that it's not limited to planet Earth, whatever that may be. But it has no limit whatsoever. No? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is infinite. So he can go anywhere. He can spread his message anywhere, to any age, and whatever he desires, it will become true. So, but all this is Guru. All the spreading Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conducts through Guru. And this is the incredible mercy, the incredible power of Guru Tattva, that it can go anywhere and touch anyone's heart. And, well, it touched ours. So we are to appreciate it. We are to appreciate that to the highest degree, because from our material standpoint, we have actually no real idea of the value of what Guru has given us. We have to first develop an understanding of the value of what Guru has given us by practicing what Guru Deva has given us. And by that we can develop the vision, as Srila Maharaj says. And after developing the vision, the divine eye, then we will see what Gurudeva is. Srila, there's a famous quote of Srila Sridhara. She said, once you get to the final goal of life, Prema Bhakti, you will look back and say, so little renunciation for such a great gift. You have to leave so little behind to get such great thing as Prema Bhakti. And this is an expression of the gift what Gurudeva gives. We may not have reached Prema Bhakti, and who knows where we really stand in our spiritual life. But we have this connection. We have the possibility. We have the potential to get there. If we don't do the worst mistake you can possibly do, meaning Vaishnava Aparat, then there's no doubt that we very soon will get there. So we have to always try to go on with full enthusiasm, try to be humble and serve Sri Guru and His grace. Srila
Jai.
Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai,
Jai.
Jai.
Jai. Jai.
Yeah.
What it means to devote to Nityananda Prabhu in a practical way?
What does it mean?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Well, Srila Sridhara said it here in one part. He says, when we serve the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, then Nityananda will be very happy with us. So if we serve the spiritual master and the devotees from the bottom of our heart, then Nityananda will be very happy with us, and he will give us his mercy. And his mercy already has come to us through Gurudev, because he's a representation of Nityananda Prabhu. And even Srila Prabhupada was identified by Srila Sridhara Maharaj as Shakti Avesh avatar of Nityananda. So we have a really strong connection with Nityananda through our Guru Maharaj to Srila Prabhupada. And so we already have been blessed by Nityananda. We just have to follow and do our part. That is the practical thing, the practical way.
Okay.
So then we will meet tomorrow for chapter 5. Now I'm very eager to find out what is the sannyas name of Srivas.
Yeah.
What will be the sannyas name of Srivas?
Yeah. You have to tell me.
Yes, I will tell you. I will promote it throughout 3 worlds.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Dandavats. Until next time. Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Haribol.